The video this week is it's going to be a bit different than what you're used to. Normally I do lore videos or just give my thoughts on the Fallout universe and Fallout franchise, but over the weekend I had a bit of an interesting thought, I guess. How long would it take to go from one corner of the wasteland to the other? And so today we'll be exploring that. So I've made a couple ground rules for this experiment. The first one is, for no particular reason, we're going from the most northwestern fast travel point to the most southeastern fast travel point. So in Fallout 3, that will be Raven Rock to Rivet City. In New Vegas, that will be the Ruby Hill Mine to Blue Paradise Vacation Rentals. It could have been Drywells, but I figure because to unlock the fast travel point for Drywells, you need to take the boat from Cottonwood Cove to do it, and so that felt a bit gimmicky. Also, the Ruby Hill starter point in New Vegas, you could argue that it should be the Charleston Cave or that one cave up near Jacobstown. I just decided on Ruby Hill just cuz. And then in Fallout 4, it will be Vault 111 to the FMS Northern Star. So it's just the most top left location to the most bottom right location. I could have done, any other combination. I could have gone from bottom left to top right. I could have gone from, top right to bottom left, whatever, what have you. I just decided on this one for no particular reason. I suppose it works nice in Fallout 4 because you kind of do just start in the top left of the map. And then the other games, Fallout 3 also has a really clean kind of pathway. Raven Rock is quite clearly the top left point, and Rivet City is quite clearly the bottom right point. So that's the first rule. The second one is we're not doing any sprint. So we don't have any sprint in Fallout 4. We can't use our action points, so it's just, normal pace. In one of my first runs for the Fallout 4, I forgot I had Oswald's top hat on. And what Oswald's top hat does is it gives you like 10% increased movement speed. And so I was like, as I was casually walking through the Commonwealth, I was like, why am I going so fast? And well, it turns out it's because I had Oswald's top hat on, so I had to redo that. So no sprint. The next one is no combat. So in all three of the games that we're covering, Fallout 3, New Vegas, and Fallout 4, I've removed AI combat. So I just went into the console command, you type TCAI, and that turns off combat. And that is probably the big reason why I'm not doing Fallout 76. Just in Fallout 76, you can't really turn off combat without making a private world, and I don't have access to do that. And so adding combat into this run would just increase it, and it wouldn't make it fair is what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to compare between the three games. Having combat, the variability of combat would just make it so that these times aren't comparable at all. The next rule is no interior. So you'll see we don't use any metros. So that means we kind of have to follow the river to get to Rivet City to avoid downtown DC. And then the final rule is you have to try and beeline as much as possible. This isn't always you can't always just go straight line from top left to bottom right. You'll see in the New Vegas run that it's very difficult to do so, especially because we're starting at the Ruby Hill Mine. There's a lot of invisible walls in the mountains of New Vegas. And so you'll see during the run that we've hit a bunch of them, and I'm trying to navigate around these invisible walls. We even at one point are walking on top of an invisible boundary. The random and arbitrary rules that I've made don't disallow walking on top of an invisible boundary. And because it was for a short duration, as you'll see, I didn't think it was that big of a deal. And so, yes, we just try to beeline as much as possible. So I'll be swimming through water. I'll be, trying to scale some mountains. I'll be jumping over fences and whatnot. Just try to follow our map marker as closely as possible. So those are the big rules. So without further ado, let's get into it. There's was it ice cream burger? The big boy? So that's Paradise Falls then, yeah. I kind of wish I set the time today so it wasn't so dark. Just, I don't know, the Wasteland at night's always, one, the color's just washed away. It's hard to like differentiate color, but then two, it's so glum. And when I was a kid, I would always, anytime it got to nighttime, I'd always just wait until day, wait until 6 a.m., 8 a.m., and then play again, just because nighttime's scary. The reason why I've decided to make this video is just sort of as an experiment. I don't know, I've just always been curious as to how long it would actually take to cross the open worlds of Fallout. I don't think this is a good estimate for size comparison, even though you will see, I think the results that we'll get at the end is probably what you'd expect, though I don't think the time it takes to walk from the top left of the map to the bottom right of the map is a good indicator of the size of the open world, if that makes sense. Like, I think you'll be a little surprised in terms of how long each of the games take to get from one side to the other, but I don't think you'll be surprised at like the order at which it takes. You know, which Wasteland takes the longest, which is the shortest. I don't think that should surprise you. Yeah, it's cool playing on PC because you get these crazy long render distances, so we can already see the Washington Monument in the background there, which is crazy. Like on console when I was a kid, like you'd be able to see this bridge and that's it. I think the Fallout 3 map is quite cool. I think when you play it the first time round, these things, like all the locations feel so far apart. But then when you play it a couple times over and you kind of get the feel for where things are and like relative to each other, obviously, it starts to feel like more cramped. Like there are a lot of open spaces. Like we've only really crossed a few. Is that the Temple of the Union on our left? We've only really crossed a few notable locations so far. And so there are a lot of like open world aspects where it's just kind of open field, I guess, open ranges. But like things in Fallout 3 are quite close. You can just start at one location and then just kind of jump fast travel point to fast travel point pretty quickly if you just, you know, orient yourself that way. Which is nice. I think Fallout does open world well where other games struggle. And I think it's what makes Fallout not feel so repetitive sometimes. The world is so dense with cool things, whether it be, you know, full-on locations or small little scenes. And so you get this, each playthrough, you're kind of finding a brand new thing again. What is this? Oh, I was going to say, what is that, a raider? But no, it's a Mirelurk. He just casually turns as we pass him. Mirelurks in this game, they're kind of creepy. I don't know, the crab ones in Fallout 4 are less creepy. They do jump out at you more, but I don't know, they feel less creepy to me. The humanoid ones in 3 and New Vegas, I don't know, just give me the willies. They shouldn't be human looking, you know? Which is why I appreciate the design change. Is that a Protectron over there on the left? I didn't even see that the first time when I was playing. But yeah, we try and just beeline to Rivet City. Also, you can tell this is arbitrary because when we get to Rivet City, it's just I stop the timer when I'm at like the bridge, and so I could have stopped the timer anywhere else. This isn't like supposed to be some hard science. It's just a thought experiment. I was literally just thinking to myself, how long would it actually take? And we'll do a real life comparison too, I think at the end of it. Because if you noticed at the beginning of this, I had the Pip-Boy up just to check the in-game time. And then when it's over, I'll pull the Pip-Boy up to check the in-game time as well to kind of see how long did it take in-game for your character to walk this distance. So now we are getting close to Rivet City. We're getting more into the urban DC area. The Anchorage Memorial just came into view. It's kind of crazy. We render the Washington Monument from so far away, but then the Anchorage Memorial just kind of pops into view when we're a lot closer. I wonder if that's like a technical thing that they wanted to do, where if you do run the game on a higher end PC, you can see the monument from further away just to give you that like feel that you are in Washington. Also, I guess it's the tallest thing in the sky in this game, and so it would only make sense to have it render early. If you're looking out on the skyline, you should be able to see it. And now, so we follow the river into Rivet City. This is always the path I would take at the start of the game, right? The coolest thing about Fallout 3 is straight from Vault 111, you can just go straight to Smith Casey's garage and get your dad. Even if you don't, like, you can just do that. There's no prerequisite quest. It's just you have to know from before other playthroughs or whatever that's where you have to go. But I would never just beeline to Smith Casey's garage. What I would always do is just beeline to Rivet City. And I don't know why. I guess I could have just gone to Smith Casey's, but going to Rivet City seems like, you know, the first big step. And so I would skip Moriarty's stuff. I would skip Three Dogs quest. Like, there's so many playthroughs where I just have never extended the radio range for Galaxy News Radio just because it's such a long quest for such little reward. And so I'd never do that. I'd just go straight to Rivet City. Like, I get Moriarty wants, you know, some help. I get Three Dog wants some help, but nah. I'll see you in Rivet City. That's all we need. Yeah, this bit's a bit confusing, because I realized the Enclave generators are up. So maybe this is, I've blown up Raven Rock, but I haven't attacked the Jefferson Memorial yet. I haven't taken it back yet. I think that's what this is. I don't remember it, because so many times when I come in to play Fallout 3, I just load like a random save. And so it's just like, some saves I'm further back than what I expect, some saves I'm further ahead. So in this one, I guess, I started outside Raven Rock on this save, so I'm sure it must have been just after I blew it up. Little super mutant stronghold. Oh, I didn't even notice, is that a skeleton like up there? Or is that barbed wire? Oh, it might be a skeleton, that's morbid. Oh man, there are a couple of there. You just like, that's so creepy. There were so many like skeletons just strewn up. Yeah, I wish it was daytime. You'd be able to see Rivet City a lot better. You can just make out the shadow of it now. There's the sign, and then we'll stop the clock once we get to the top, but before the bridge. Because I've already discovered it, there won't be like a "you've discovered Rivet City" notification, and so that's when I would stop the clock, but we're just going to stop it at the top of the bridge, because why not? And so that's a 6:35.6, 2:18 time. So wrapping up Fallout 3, the start time was 5:19 p.m., the end time was 2:18 a.m., and that brings us to almost 9 hours, with the exact time being 8 hours and 59 minutes to cross the Wasteland. Now we're on to New Vegas. As you can see, I did say that we're trying to do a beeline, but because of our starting point at Ruby Hill Mine, we kind of have to get to the main road before. There are just a lot, like an ungodly amount of invisible walls. Trust me, I tried to like parkour over the mountain range there, but you just keep hitting invisible wall after invisible wall. So even if you like, you know, Skyrim horse your way up a mountainside, you'll just end up hitting a wall. What's interesting about this run is that you actually don't even cross through the New Vegas Strip. You kind of just go through Fiend territory towards Black Mountain. So, you know, you might think that New Vegas and the New Vegas Strip is like dead smack in the center of the map. It's really not. It's kind of north. And so when you draw a straight line from the two extremities of the map, the top left and the bottom right, you kind of just slide right past it. And so we don't actually even go to the Strip, which is nice because we're trying to avoid interiors. And the Strip and Freeside, there's so many load screens in that area. Like, you can't even get into the Strip. You have to, you know, fast travel to Freeside Gate, walk through Freeside, go through that little bus terminal, and then, you know, and then finally you can enter the Strip with the Securitrons. That's why on PC it's kind of nice. You can center on cell just into the Strip if you really want to, if you want to kind of skip the load screens, all those load screens. I'm sure there are probably also mods that do it too. I don't know, that you can like fast travel into the Strip. I'd wager it's because it's like an entirely different, like you're not even on the world map when you're in the Strip. You're like in a whole different cell. And you can probably see that if you were to like try and toggle clipping and just kind of like fly through the air to get into the Strip, you'll probably see that you're not actually in the Strip. You're just behind all these buildings, these random like floating buildings and stuff. See, so we just refix ourselves and we just have to go climb over some fences, entering Fiend territory, heading towards the Sunset Sarsaparilla HQ. The Fallout 3 run, just as a summary, took 16 minutes, 30 seconds, almost 31 seconds, which I think is a little surprising. It does seem quite long. Yeah, in New Vegas, especially near the Strip, I always get these like weird little shimmers when it renders. I think it's just because the Strip takes up so much like processing power. And also like I don't have any mods installed for New Vegas, and I don't know if this is common knowledge or not, but New Vegas has like a limit on the amount of RAM you can use. I think it's like 4 gigabytes or something. And so even if you have like a super high-end computer, you're bottlenecked because of the game limitations. And so there are mods that remove that limiter, and so it makes it easier to run, but I don't have those installed just because, I play vanilla a lot of the time. And so we end up with a little shimmering when we're trying to render really long distances. I thought I'd be able to squeeze through. I thought there was a gap, but then when I walked closer, it didn't look like there was one, so I kind of wasted some time there. Again, this isn't a speed run, so I'm sure someone could speed run this if they really wanted to and totally obliterate my time. But yeah, we're in Fiend territory now. There's the Delray Motel, or El Rey Motel. But I haven't seen a Fiend, which is interesting. I don't know if I killed them off or not in this playthrough. Now, at some point, I do take a bit of fall damage. I think it's when I get closer to Cottonwood Cove. I was debating on whether or not to toggle God mode or not, but I think we opted not to. I think I'm safe enough when I do my drops, and that does take some time, as you'll see. We had this nice little rubble that we could climb up, save some time so we don't have to follow the freeway all the way through. And there's Black Mountain. See, when I did this, I didn't do any like dry runs. I just kind of sent it, and if I got stuck, I would restart. And so when you're doing this and you're looking at Black Mountain and you're like, how the heck do I scale this? I was really worried I just lost like 6 minutes of my life. In an alternate world, I could have gone through like Quarry Junction or something there to the right. But I had a lot of confidence that I'd be able to scale this, and I really wanted to stick to my beeline rule as much as possible. And so you'll notice in the bottom left that, my directional marker and my mini-map marker are lined up, at least to the best of my ability. There might be like pixels off. And so we have to scale this little mountain. I decided to go for, the lowest point. Try to climb it. Pretty easy. It's not even a mountain. It's a hill. More things render in as we get closer, making it look a lot more daunting. At this point, I don't even know if I've cleared Black Mountain in this playthrough. I'm sure I have. So I don't know if I'm about to get ganked by, or obviously I have combat and AI scripts off, so I won't be chased down by some super mutants, but it's a little worrisome if I, have to navigate through them all. There's this nice little passageway, which is pretty sweet, that can kind of take you through some of the mountain. And there's a mine to the right of us. I don't even pick up the the marker. I don't even pick up the fast travel location. I just skip right by it. And it's at this point where I'm like, how do I navigate this? Our marker is southeast. Our marker is southeast, east southeast, southeast east, and we were going like straight east. But luckily for us, there's a nice little hill that we can just mount, and we get past Black Mountain with quick ease. Helios 1. This is another part, because Helios 1 has a big fence around it. So it's like, we can't really beeline through it without going through like interiors and stuff. So unfortunately, we have to go around the Helios 1 fence. I think at one point in this run, I also pull out that LMG on accident, so it slows us down a bit just because your running speed with heavy weapons is slowed. Honestly, in this game, with weapons pulled in general is slowed. So that slows down. But again, this isn't a speed run. This is just my curiosity getting the better of me and thinking that it could be an interesting idea. So yeah, we come up on the fence, and I thought I'd be able to squeeze through. I thought for some reason that there'd be a gap in it, and maybe there is. But I'm not sure that if there was a gap, I'd be able to walk through and then find another gap on the other side. So better safe than sorry. We go around. The dry lake in front of us. You can see the Dinky the Dino off to the right there. Me trying to figure out how to scale this goddamn part. And I ran into another like little clipped area, had to jump. There it is. Pull out the LMG, put it back right away, lose like half a second. I was looking at this NPC. I couldn't figure out if they were a merchant or like a raider of some sort, like a jackal. But based on the head that it had, it didn't look like a raider head. You know, like raiders always have like crazy hairdos and stuff. So I was thinking it was a merchant, but I wasn't gonna stop to figure it out. We had a race to complete. Another mountain that I'll have to climb. I think at this point we get to a couple invisible walls, which slowed us down quite a bit. Some geckos. The giant geckos are quite large. You don't realize it because, whenever you find them, you're fighting them. But look at this, man. It's like the size of you. They're huge. I guess that's why they're called giant geckos. Little NCR Ranger checkpoint. Getting towards Legion territory, though. These guys are going to be in danger. Yeah, it's right around here for some reason that you end up hitting an invisible wall. Like, look at this. You can't even move. You just have to side shimmy and try and get around it. And then it's around here. See, we're still hitting an invisible wall. It's around here that we're just... Oh. Still hitting it. It's around here that we're just on top of the boundary. We're just walking on air. Eventually we get past it. A little invisible roof or floor there. Some Legion guys hanging around. Just chilling. One to the right. A little fire gecko hanging out with him. And just got tripped on some rocks. New Vegas's world is quite nice. You have like a lot of fast travel locations that kind of stay near like the major highways and interchanges and stuff, which is nice. And then you've got, to the top left, you've got Jacobstown and like the nice greenery. Top right, you've got Nellis. Bottom right, you've got, Cottonwood Cove. In the middle, you have the Strip. So it's all like very organized. Though I will say it's a very interesting starting point in terms of where you start the game. They kind of take you in like a U. They intentionally take you in like a U to kind of at the start where you start in Good Springs and you go down to like Nipton and Novak, and then you kind of go back up towards the Strip. It's a very interesting like pathway that they get you to take. Fallout 3, they kind of just keep you in the south and you just kind of move to the right, You start in Vault 101, go to Megaton, go to the Metro, end up at Galaxy News Radio, go to Rivet City. Like, you're kind of always you start at the south bit and you just kind of keep going to the right until you hit Rivet City. And then they like tell you, okay, now go all the way to the left to get to Smith Casey's. But in New Vegas, they kind of just take you in like a pretty easy U-type path. We hit some invisible wall here as well. Brutal. And then honestly, I don't think I've ever been to this location. Like, it's so just in such a weird spot. There's nothing crazy here either. So I didn't even know what my fast travel point was. So I just kind of walked toward this building thinking that this was going to be the end of it. It's not. Fast travel point is to the left, but, like, who the heck comes this way? There's nothing over here. There's some mire lurks, and that's, like, it. So I was like, what the heck? Where am I supposed to go? And then I was like, oh, probably these buildings. And then there we go. Stop the timer, and there you go. So now we have Fallout 4. If we go back to New Vegas, we started at 12:52 p.m. in-game. We ended at 9:50 p.m. in-game. That time is 8 hours and 58 minutes, almost 9 hours. But that's only a 1 minute difference between Fallout 3 and between New Vegas, which is crazy. But now we're in Fallout 4. Now, after watching Fallout 3 and New Vegas, Fallout 4 looks crazy fast. Believe me, this isn't Sprint. I'm not wearing Oswald's hat or like the captain's hat that gives like 10% move speed. Just this is how fast the game actually is relative to 3 and New Vegas. It looks so fast, like it looks like I'm sprinting, but it's just the walk speed. Soul Survivor's got some long legs, I guess. And so this one, we start at Vault 111, and we will be ending at the wreckage of the FMS Northern Star. That's like where the Norwegian ghouls are. Fallout 4, when it's rainy and dark, unlike Fallout 3 and New Vegas, like, I don't know, it's like a vibe to it. It's still creepy, it's still unpleasant, but like it's just cool. Especially you can see like the Corvega assembly plant back there. Like it's kind of neat. You can see like the what is that? The mass fusion building, big buildings back there. Like it's just cool, the render distance and stuff. Now, what's crazy to me, this is like one of my main playthroughs. I can't believe I haven't discovered the Gorski cabin on it. Like it's so close to the start, and it has like a magazine there, like a collectible there, and it's like, why haven't I discovered it? Just interesting. The toughest part about this one in Fallout 4 is the top left to bottom right does take you through Boston and like downtown Boston and stuff. And so you end up, it's very easy to get lost. I'm lucky that I think I have minimal turns and stuff. Like I do stick to my beeline rule. But yeah, this is one of those situations, this specifically, where I do have to deviate a bit. Can't really walk through the building. I don't think there was a back door on that one. And what's interesting between the New Vegas and Fallout 3 runs is in-game, there's only a difference of 1 minute. Like, that's negligible. New Vegas in-game time was 1 minute slower, I guess. But the time it took me to cross the Capital Wasteland versus crossing the Mojave Wasteland was like a minute 15 seconds, like a full minute and 15 seconds, which is kind of crazy relative to like the time. Like it was 16:30 and then it was 17:47. And so I know in New Vegas there was a lot more detouring and stuff. Like I had to climb on mountains and whatnot, but I can't imagine that accounts for a minute and 17 seconds. And so it's interesting to see like that comparison. Now with Fallout 4, the comparison is going to be wild. You'll see the results surprisingly shortly. We crossed through, what was this, Cambridge? I think that was College Town. Downtown Boston, like any like super dense area always confuses me in video games. We're coming up on the CIT crater. You can tell because our rads are now going to skyrocket. Luckily, I think we turned on God mode, so they actually don't accumulate, but we get like some crazy rad numbers. Now, because we're trying to beeline, we have to swim through this irradiated muck. A rad storm comes through because we're close by. I think I got stuck somewhere, that's why I had to jump. There was like some wreckage I got stuck on. Building in the way, gotta go around that. Jump on the car, because why not? I don't know what's happening here, why these cars look like they're floating. I'm pretty sure there's supposed to be a bridge here. But we just have like some floating cars. Gotta cross through the harbor. Look at that old architecture. Beautiful. We have this like retaining wall that we came up on. Can't jump over it. And I was kind of looking for like a place I could parkour it, but for now we're just gonna walk the retaining wall, and hopefully it takes us to where we want to be. There's the cathedral to the left. Yeah, I was like looking for a way I could get it, see if I could jump it. Nope. Don't jump that high. But once we got past the retaining wall, just had to get tripped up on some rubble there, and then we can keep going. Go through downtown Boston, where these streets are actually a maze. Luckily, we're out at, is it Boston Common? Some gunners, I think, to the left there. They kind of spooked me when I was running this. They came out of nowhere. They're just standing there menacingly. Take a little shortcut through the park. Some meat bags, some super mutants at these apartments. Terrified that I'm gonna cut through these areas and see like some random jump scare. I don't know what it is when like NPCs are frozen in time. It just like it's nice because, you know, I'm not gonna get ganked or anything, but it's like, who knows? I'm gonna turn my head and something's gonna be right in my face. It's kind of creepy. They're not moving. Everything's silent. This was weird. I don't know what happened here, but we had this like weird glitch where my reticle's like pointing on some gunners, but no one's here. So I don't know what that was about. I didn't want to like tap A to see what would happen just in case, like it would actually like break the game. But we just continue. For some reason we have gunners that we're talking to. Settler breaks it up, but nope, Slim is still there. This looks like a raider place. Yeah, came across like a little fence, couldn't get over it, but dumpster and a fence I can get over. Gotta pop open the gate though. Takes a bit of time and then squeeze through there. Mirelurk just chilling, guarding the door. Glowing Mirelurk just guarding the door. Got stuck on some stairs. Cut through the super mutant stronghold at the Gwinnett restaurant. Thought that there would be a gate there. There wasn't, but there's a gate here. Got a bit lost, took the alleyway instead because I saw that retaining wall. And then, like, this is the crazy part. I can just skip so much time. Look at that. You can see the wreckage right in the distance. I just got to swim across. It's so easy. And so in other games where I have to, like, do parkour, climb some mountains, I can just swim. It's so free. It's just actually a straight line from here on out. As a side note, water in video games is terrifying. Ever since I played Mario 64 and that like Lapras looking monster who steals your hat, that thing has terrified me and has made me extremely scared of water in video games. Water in real life, in lakes and oceans and stuff, I'm fine. It doesn't scare me. Water in video games does. You don't know what's like lurking down there. That's why I'm kind of thankful that Fallout has never had water combat. But who knows, maybe it gets added in later. I mean, they wanted to do like a giant sea octopus vault, right? The 20 leagues under the sea or whatever the quest was. And so I'm kind of glad they didn't do it. It would have been cool, surely, but also probably would have been quite terrifying. There's the wreckage, so we're coming up on our stop timer soon. And there you see, it's so fast. 11:30:58, super quick. In-game time is 1:59 a.m. And so for Fallout 4, while Fallout 3 took 9 hours and New Vegas took 9 hours, in-game hours, Fallout 4 took 3 hours and 47 minutes of in-game time. And so when we compare all the times for the 3 wastelands we've crossed today, we see that Fallout 4 took the shortest amount of time at 11 minutes 30 seconds. Fallout New Vegas took the longest time at 17 minutes 47 seconds, and Fallout 3 fell in the middle with 16 minutes 30 seconds. If we compare the real-life time against the in-game time for each of the games, we will get a ratio that compares the two, allowing us to discover how many minutes pass in-game for every minute that passes in real life. For Fallout 3 and New Vegas, the ratio comes out to 30:1, meaning that for every minute that passes in real life, 30 minutes pass in Fallout 3 and New Vegas. What's interesting though is that the ratio for Fallout 4 is 20-1, meaning that time passes more slowly in Fallout 4 compared to 3 and New Vegas. For every 1 minute in real life, only 20 minutes pass in Fallout 4. Does this mean anything significant? No, not really, but it's interesting to learn and test. That's all from me today, folks. If you liked the video, be sure to share and subscribe. Join the Discord. Have a good rest of your day. Cheers.
So, what's your story? Me, I'm just experiencing my freedom. Wandering the wasteland, doing whatever I please.